Did you know that World War I not only changed the battlefield but also transformed American society forever? Many people think of World War II as the turning point for America, but Robert A. Zieger argues that the real transformation began during World War I. Hi everyone, I'm Hong, and today I'll be reviewing America's Great War, World War I and American Experience by Robert A. Zieger. This book takes a deep dive into how World War I changed the United States, both globally and domestically. In this video, I'll explain Zieger's main argument, break down the evidence he uses, and evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of his claims. Let's get started. In this book, Zieger argues that World War I was a turning point for the United States. It wasn't just a military conflict, it transformed America's position in the world and affected life at home in major ways. In this presentation, I'll answer three main questions. What is Zieger's main argument? What evidence does he use to support his claims? And how strong is his argument overall? Zieger's central argument is that World War I permanently reshaped the United States in two key ways. First, the war marked America's emergence as a global leader. Before World War I, the United States followed a policy of isolation, but after contributing to the Allied victory, the United States became a major player on the international stage. Second, the war triggered a major social and political shifts. It led to changes in labor movements, race relations, and government authority over civil liberties. Zieger argues that World War I elevated the United States to a new global role. Before the war, the United States stayed out of most international conflicts. However, during the war, American troops and resources played a key role in securing an Allied victory, especially in the Meuse-Argonne offensive. This battle was the largest operation by American forces in World War I and demonstrated the country's growing military power. Zieger also discusses President Woodrow Wilson's push for the League of Nations, a major attempt to shape post-war diplomacy. Even though the United States did not join the League, the war marked a turning point where America could no longer stay isolated from global affairs. These examples highlight how American involvement in the war laid the groundwork for future global leadership. Zieger also focuses on how World War I changed American society. The war boosted the United States economy, increasing industrial production and job opportunities. This economic shift was critical in transforming the nation into an industrial powerhouse. He also emphasizes the Great Migration, where thousands of African Americans moved from the rural South to northern cities to work in wartime industries. This migration challenged the racial makeup of cities and increased racial tensions, leading to race riots in several urban areas. Additionally, women entered the workforce in large numbers during the war. This shift helped push forward the women's suffrage movement, which ultimately led to the 19th Amendment in 1920. By providing these social and economic examples, Zieger clearly shows how the war had long-lasting effects on American life. Zieger argues that the war also expanded government power, especially over civil liberties. The Espionage Act of 1917 and the Sedition Act of 1918 restricted free speech and punished everyone who criticized the government or the war effort. For instance, socialist leader Eugene V. Debs was imprisoned for speaking out against the war. Zieger suggests that these laws set a precedent for future government actions during national crises, limiting civil liberties in the same name of security. He uses court cases and legal records to demonstrate how these acts were enforced and how they shape future policies on free speech during times of national emergency. Now let me talk to you guys about the strength of his argument. Zieger's argument is persuasive for several reasons. He uses a variety of primary sources including government records, labor statistics, and legal documents, making his claims reliable and well supported. For example, his use of demographic data shows how the Great Migration altered American society. He also presents both the positive and negative effects of the war. He discusses how the war created economic opportunities but also led to increased government control and racial tensions. Finally, he successfully links World War I to long-term changes, such as America's role in global affairs and domestic struggles over civil rights. Now, there is definitely some few weaknesses. While Zieger's argument is strong overall, there are a couple of weaknesses. One limitation is his limited coverage of the 1918 influenza pandemic. The book barely mentions how the influenza pandemic, which happened during the war, affected American society and caused deaths of millions. Another weakness is the lack of anti-war perspectives. While he touches on opposition to the war, Zieger does not deeply explore the viewpoints of how anti-war activists or the cultural backlash against U.S. involvement. Including these perspectives will have provided a more balanced analysis of the American experience during World War I. In conclusion, Robert H. Zieger's America's Great War offers a detailed and persuasive analysis of how World War I transformed the United States. The book is thoroughly researched, balanced, and clearly connects the war to long-term historical changes. However, it overlooks the impact of the influenza pandemic and underrepresents anti-war voices. Overall, this book is a valuable source for understanding the profound and lasting impact of World War I on how both American society and global politics were impacted. And these are the sources that I used for this video, and thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.